Hello and welcome to the intro video masterclass to subtypes of fours. We call fours the authentic creatives for good reason. Let's just get going right here on them. Of course, as I've been reminding everyone, if you want to go deeper on any of these, we've provided you with some additional reading materials. Probably you've now received a copy of Shock Point, the Enneagram, and Burnout and Stress. There are definitely more learning opportunities for you and ways to go deeper into any of these given subtypes, especially because there's not a lot of other sources out there that really do this without having to do a lot of digging and research. So the self-preservation four, the counter type of the three types. Remember, it is self-preservation for the twos, threes, and fours. That's the counter type. The heart types, all self-preservation. Kind of interesting, easy way to remember it. Well, first of all, interestingly, they can look like a one. These fours, you wouldn't think of it, but they can look like a one in their strong need for self-determination and discipline. They also have a high activated inner critic. In my personal experience, ones are, of course, most famous, and they have the biggest inner critic, especially the social and the self-preservation ones. But certainly high inner critic can be happening in fours as well. What's interesting, depending on the sequence of the arrangement of like where self-preservation is, that the second bullet point here, some self-preservation fours can look quite sevenish with their apparently sunny disposition. I say apparently because that is like almost a defense mechanism that they put up there so that, hey, everything's good here. No one knows the turmoil that really could be going on inside. And for two reasons here so far already, you can see how it might be hard to identify a self-preservation for. And it's, again, just underlines the reason for why this extra layer of sophistication on typing is super, super important. They do have this sense of being flawed, but they just push on through it anyway. They can take a lot. That mantra, see how much I suffer and don't complain. It's like a self-preservation four is like carrying a big sack and they're burdened by it, but you wouldn't know it by the way that they appear to most people. The self-preservation four, the other two fours really look fourish, and the social four is perhaps the stereotype of the four. Its subtype name is shame, and it's really like expressing and letting, like, you're going to know how they feel, and it's going to be kind of a sadness, a melancholy that is coming over them. And I think the name does come from this sense of a shame for just not being able to live up to their high personal ideals. There's a lot of idealization going on for all fours. They may feel ashamed when not playing the social game well or not measuring up to group standards. They can be highly dramatic and highly sensitive. And so it's the overall feeling and emotion you're going to get. It's going to be outwardly expressed. It's going to be self-referencing. They're going to feel it first, and then they're just going to like release it in their authenticity. But the difference between them, it's a lot of sadness here, the expression of sadness. Finally, with the sexual one-to-one four, whose name is competition, they feel a need to prove themselves as better than you in order to get your respect. And that very last bullet, if I'm going to suffer, then so are you. There's this competitive nature of the sexual one-to-one instinctual energy filtered through the personality lens of the four and the emotions of the four. That intensity in the sexual 114 can come across as anger, which, as it says here, can mask that pain of envy, that pain of I am actually not good enough, or nothing in my life is good enough no matter what I do. Sometimes they can look quite eight-ish in their intensity and sometimes their aggressiveness, which is all this compensating that is trying to overcome actually feeling something is lacking or that they are in some way inferior. So if any of these three characteristics of being a four show up to you, of course, they will really be manifested when you're in burnout and stress. Their melancholy can appear in all the different types of the fours here. Sometimes the differences between these three subtypes of fours is really because of the intensity of the emotional response in this personality structure. So I hope that this helps shine a little bit of light on what it means to be one of the subtypes of a four.